Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is going to be a quick look ahead to the Phillies Tigers series. We look to build on the momentum of winning those three in a row and taking advantage of the team you should take advantage of in the Marlins. We took advantage. Zach Eflin balled out in the final game, pitch a complete game. If it wasn't for some defensive mistakes, mainly by Cesar, which will be a part of this video, on his defense this year, then it probably could have been a complete game shutout. So first to start off is a lot of people I see in our fan groups and on Twitter have been insulting coming at Andrew Knapp. I think for me at least, and this might be because even though I'm younger, I tend to have that older baseball mentality. If you look at other than the Piazzas of the world and the big name dudes of the world, a catcher position, especially as your backup, is someone that you would just like to be able to handle the pitching staff, be a good guy at handling them, and every pitcher has cited that Knapp is good at that, especially because we have young guys that came through the system with Andrew, so he meshes very well with them and their confidence, and Zach Eflin threw that complete game with Knapp, remember, and they came up with each other when he got traded here. Eflin did. They pitched with each other a lot in the minors, so I think that holds a lot to it as well. I also think Andrew Knapp's a guy. He looked better at hitting in spring. I don't think his adjustment to get better at hitting to just hit 230 to 250 and be a solid backup catcher, because you don't need your backup catcher to be hitting like a world beater out there. That's why they're a backup catcher. They're a backup catcher to manage the staff and play solid defense, and so far so good on that front, and that's really all I need to see from him. For most people, I think you're asking too much out of a backup catcher. Some teams have two great catchers. The Nationals have Yan Gomes and Kurt Suzuki. And then Boston has Vasquez, who's a solid catcher, and Leone, who are both solid catchers. Teams are like that, but typically your backup just has to be good at managing, and I think we get that out of Knapp. Now, on to Cesar Hernandez before I do a quick look ahead. His defense has been odd because last year it wasn't too bad. It's declined if you look at the numbers since we lost Galvis, who played baseball. They played baseball with each other since they were young kids in their home country, so that factors into a confidence thing. But Gene Segura is a heck of a defender as well, and so is Kingery when he's over there. So that shouldn't really hinder him that much. And also, he's making mistakes on ground balls plus the pop-ups. So his defensive confidence is just not there right now. Thank God he's hitting right now, because that's beneficial, because if he wasn't hitting that well, that would not be good for Cesar, because I think at this point, even with him hitting well, if Kingery was still healthy and hitting well, I think you would have at least saw a platoon at this point, since Scotty, since he's been caught up, has made great defensive plays. He made that one error this year, but he also made that heck of a play to flipping it to third, and then he had that heck of a play flicking a sideways throw to first. So he's pretty solid in the field, which is typical of what Cesar, what doesn't make sense the most for Cesar is that he was, whose whole career, even last year when his confidence was a little bit down, was still a solid defender that would make those big plays for you at time, but was just reliable on the routine plays. He's not as reliable on those this year either, and just making lapses in the field, like calling for the ball and then getting scared or something of Harper coming behind him, whatever that was. And then also jumping in front of a ball that's way far and beyond the shortstop's ball. So it's those little things that you should be able, you would think, like Knapp should be able to fix his swing from pulling his head out and all that, to what he did in spring, which he was hitting better and keeping his head in there. Look at tape. You would think you should be able to look at old tape and do it, but it is harder than that. I understand that, but that's the first step. You got to look at your old tape and be able to figure out what you were doing then and what you're doing now. I don't think he used to go down on a knee as much as he does now. So he's fielding the ball a little bit differently, which I think when you go back to how you were before and you watch some clips and stuff like that, that can be helpful. For today, we don't have the lineups yet, but the pitching matchup is Spencer Turnbull, who's a solid young 26-year-old pitcher for them. He pitched 26 innings. He's 1-2, but that's because of run support. He has a 2.77. Vinny Velo has been good for us. He hasn't been giving us bunches of innings, but he has 5 games. You want to know with a 1.99. He's been doing what he has to do. Tonight, I would like to have him pitch into the 6th, just so we have our bullpen only for 3 innings. He's been good, but granted, our bullpen has not been absolutely the best this year. So it would be nice to see Vince Velasquez be able to pitch into the innings a little bit deeper, which would be very good for us, in my opinion. And I just got updates on who's not in the starting lineup tonight. So I'm assuming pretty soon the lineup will come through. Alter's obviously not in it. Knapp was in it last time for rest. So I would see it as a pretty similar lineup to what we usually have, most likely. And what we have tomorrow is Daniel Norris, another solid young pitcher, 1-0, versus Nola, who's been starting to bounce back and pitch better. Look for him to do well tomorrow. Look for Vinny Velo to keep up his success. And I think, especially if Vinny Velo pitches well tonight, Nola's been stepping up and doing well. We have good guys to hit off the lefties now, which was a little bit of a problem last year, other than Reese and Franco at times. So I think that's great this year. So I think we can easily sweep this series as long as we do well tonight. Vinny Velasquez keeps going good. I think this is a series sweep for the Phillies. Let's go Phillies. Peace out, everybody.